I got to thinking yesterday, and this board here is just a regular power play drawn up. So let's just say your blue line is back here, okay? And this shouldn't be blue, but just for the sake of argument, it's blue. So advanced stats are big now. Do you have your advanced stats yet? You got your advanced stats degree yet? All right. Here's an advanced stat that drives me nuts. This guy passes the puck. He's got the puck here. He passes it up to the point. Okay. The guy at the point takes the shot, goes through. I'm gonna have their goalie a different color. We're gonna pretend this is soccer. All right. All the Europeans went soccer. It's football. So puck goes from point A to point B, goes to the goalie. The goalie kicks it out right to this guy, back of the net. Okay. So here, here, and in the net. My argument is this. The play this guy made to put it back to the point is a primary assist if the goalie doesn't make the save. The goalie makes the save and kicks the rebound out. It's now a goal for this guy, primary assist for the point man, and a secondary assist here. Now that's just a power play example. I could draw up plenty of them. Plenty of examples of plays that you could draw up and say, all right, who really made the play happen? So let's do it another way. Hope I didn't hit the cat with that right. Okay, so behind the net here, you've got, say, PK Subban. Subban skates out cross center, skates through a couple of bodies to get there, passes the puck to Johansson. Johansson goes in and scores. That's a primary assist for PK. PK gives it to Johansson. Johansson goes in, say, 2-on-1. He's got Mike Fisher with him. He passes it to Fisher. Fisher scores. Now Subban's assist is a secondary. I think it's ridiculous. An assist is an assist, in my eyes, because it basically is a statement that all goals are goals. And while that seems like I'm oversimplifying, not all goals are created equal. And if you've watched Sidney Crosby, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, you know what I'm talking about. Not all goals are created equal. Thusly, not all assists are created equal. I loved Adam Oates. Adam Oates is one of my favorite centers ever. So Oates would come in over the blue line. You'd have Hull, some poor sucker of a goalie standing there. He knew. Any goalie knows Oates is going to pass. Oates is getting a primary assist here. Hull's lethal. There's no danger of the puck going back over to Oates for the most part. And Oates proved in 1 year in Boston where Cam Neely was hurt, he could have been a 40-goal scorer, but he loved to pass the puck. Now, if you put a third guy on that line, it doesn't matter who this is. This could be Patrick Berglund with a time machine for all I care. If Oates has a lethal shot on a lethal teammate on either side, I shouldn't be hearing kids. They should have been long gone. All right, I gotta pause this. All right. So apparently heavy snow out there right now. So rather than heading into Surrey, they decided not to. I stayed home. I was smart. All right. So again, we've got Oates, and maybe that's a bad example. So let's just go with you got Gretz here, okay, and you got Curry, and you got Anderson. And this could be Lindros, Leclerc. Fine, I'll put the KY on there just in case anyone goes, who's Gretz? Oh, great. Now the KY looks terrible. Glenn Anderson scored 100 points a year. I guarantee you, a lot of the points Anderson got were secondary assists to Gretzky, to Curry, to Gretzky. If Anderson passes the puck to Gretzky, Gretzky goes around into his office, passes the puck to Curry, Curry gets the goal. I don't see that what Anderson did is any less important. And here's why. Maybe Anderson makes the pass at the blue line. Maybe Anderson skates in around behind the net himself, drops the puck for Gretzky. Gretzky passes to Curry. Maybe Anderson takes the pass a couple of times. Because here's the other thing that drives me nuts. And this is the way that it works. Okay, so you've got, and I'll keep using Oiler examples here. I'm going to take the goalie out. So this is your forward line. And on the blue line, markers are really unwieldy. And on the blue line, you've got Lowe and you've got Coffey. This combination of players scores 300 goals in a season. Any of these guys could get a secondary assist. Any of these guys can get a goal or a primary assist. When I hear, well, I don't like player X because he gets mostly secondary assists. This guy's really good because he gets primary assists. This guy kind of sucks because he gets secondary assists. I'm confused. It's all the same thing. It doesn't matter. Vancouver, Henrik Sedin to Daniel Sedin. Daniel Sedin passes to Anson Carter, and it's a goal. Daniel Sedin to Henrik to Anson Carter, it's a goal. That's what happened about 10 years ago when the Sedins finally broke free of their development curve, shall we say, when they got a winger who could really bury the puck in Anson Carter. It didn't matter which Sedin passed to which before it went to Carter. It didn't matter. The only way it matters is if the puck is going towards the goal every pass. But when I'm in front of the net, so Gretzky's in front of the net, and he's like, I don't really have a good shot. I'm going to pass it over to Glenn. Glenn takes the shot, gets the goal, primary. Glenn looks and goes, you know what? I don't think I have the shot either. To Coffey, goal from the point. It doesn't change what Gretzky did. It doesn't make it any less important. It doesn't matter. And I've seen this a lot lately, where a player will get mentioned. That's why I'm using the 80s Oilers as the example here, because I could do this with any team, current or past. Secondary assists are assists. If it didn't matter, then everybody who touches the puck would get an assist. There were plenty of times with these 5 guys on the ice that every one of them would touch the puck before a goal was scored. All of them. The Detroit Red Wings in the early 2000s and late 90s, absolutely. They played the Soviet style. Pass, 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 pass. Look for that perfect shot. Keep passing. Get the goalie out of position and score. And it made no less importance out of any of these passes. Because what happens is, here's where it gets important. And the stat that I look at is, so let's just take Lowe off of here, because Lowe is pretty smart defensively. I'm going to pick a non-Oiler. I'm going to pick a guy who no longer is in the NHL. Tom Kurvers. How does this change the board? Well, it changes it a lot. Kurvers got points. Kurvers got assists. Kurvers got goals. Kurvers coughed up the puck a lot. Couldn't play back. As soon as he's on the ice with Coffey, the odds of a goal being scored against your team goes up. He's still getting assists. He's going to get more points than Kevin Lowe would. But, even though he's probably going to get more primary assists than Lowe, that doesn't tell much of a story. Between the two, you still want Kevin Lowe. I think the thing that I've noticed with advanced stats and in today's statistical overload, if you like a player, you can find a stat that will prove you're right. Back to Tom Curvers. A person could point and say, scored a lot of goals. Even by the standards of the defenseman at the time, he scored a lot of points and a lot of goals. He was good offensively. I tell you, you put Curvers out on the power play, you've got something. He's probably not a top 4 guy on a contender, but if you limit his minutes, you put him out on the power play, you've got something. For me, I see a guy who could score 2 points and still be a minus in the game. I saw a guy who gave the puck away and drove me insane. The guy sitting next to me could go, he's a risk taker. The lightning rod for this in the NHL right now is, and I'm not even going to write his name down on the board because I think I've made my point with the board. PK Subban. You have varying opinions on PK Subban. Is Subban a great defenseman? Is Subban more of a rover? Is Subban a Norris contender? Should he be on Team Canada, or is Subban such a high-risk player who gives the puck away so much that you don't want him anywhere near an all-star team? You don't want him anywhere near the national team. It depends who you ask. At any given point in time. And so when people talk, and whether it's comments on my channel and they talk about secondary assists, the other one that drives me nuts, and this is one that got posted yesterday, 5-on-5 save percentage. So goalie stats are bad. And a guy will say, yeah, but look at his 5-on-5 save percentage. Okay, but his overall save percentage isn't very good, which means there's an issue. But I will say this. And this harkens back. I'm going to keep using the word harken. This drove me nuts. So back in 2010, the Chicago Blackhawks made mincemeat out of Roberto Luongo and the Canucks. I'm going to go ahead and set it up this way, right? So here's the Vancouver net. And at the other end, I'm going to put the Chicago net. Those are way too big. Ignore that. This just symbolizes the blue line. When the Canucks got shots, you're in this area because Chicago was boxing out the Canucks quite well. When Chicago was getting shots, that's where they were getting them, and often right in the middle. So when you'd look at the end of the game, you'd say, wow, Luongo's save percentage was crap. Crawford, Niemi, whoever was in net for Chicago, he looked great. Not all shots are created equal. This is why when people point out save percentage, I have to take it with a grain of salt too. Yes, I mean Holtby's going to have a good save percentage, but does he face the same quality of shots and the frequency of shots as Talbot? No. So let's say Talbot's got a 921, Holtby's got a 930. I'm actually more impressed with the 921. So again, stats, people go insane when I say I like a goaltender and he has a 906 save percentage. People are like, how could Shannon like the goalie? Because all of his shots are coming from here. Why is Corey Schneider's save percentage bad this year in New Jersey? Because the Devils keep allowing shots right in about here. It's the issue. It's not rocket science. But again, if you like a goalie, you can find any reason to say, oh, he's good for this reason, or he's bad for that reason. And it's funny because the carry price thing's kind of what's caused all of this and me looking at stats, because I said at the start of the year, and I said even when he was struggling, that Carey Price is the best goaltender in the NHL. At no point during this season have I said, well, Price has lost it. Price is done. That's why I said things like struggles. He's having problems. He's allowing goals he shouldn't. That's usually a sign of a confidence problem. I'm not surprised that his numbers got better when Claude Julien got there, because Claude Julien's very good with goaltenders. Tim Thomas didn't become the machine he was just because he's Tim Thomas. Claude Julien played a good role in that he believed in Thomas. Claude Julien believes in his goaltenders. He shows faith in his goaltenders, and that means a lot. And I'm not saying Michel Therrien didn't. It's a matter of who is best at that job. So here's the challenge I give you guys. Which stat drives you nuts? When these people come out and they start tearing a player apart, which stat drives you nuts? This all comes back to the Reed Duke thing yesterday. You can tear a player apart easy. If you have every stat in the world, you can go, well, look at where all of his face-offs are. His coach doesn't have any faith in him. So what? It's a coach. Coaches change. I don't care if a coach has faith in a player. Maybe another coach will. Coaching makes a huge difference. Look at the Sedins under Tortorella. So, again, that's why when I look at all these stats and who had more, face-offs at center ice and who had more face-offs on the other end and who did this and who did that, sometimes I look at that and I go, okay, so the coach doesn't believe in them. Or the coach has a lot of faith in that guy. Anyways, that's my bone to pick for today. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And one other topic too. Now that I've got the board and my subscriber count's high, Yvonne thought it might be good, considering some of the fan bases in the NHL and some of the NHL fans being rather new. She thought it might be a good idea for me to use the board to clarify certain things in hockey people may not understand, whether it's certain penalty calls, um, just certain plays in hockey that a newer fan might be too embarrassed to ask about. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that. She told me it should be a series I should start called Hockey 101. I'm not sure that's something that necessarily would work, but I know there are some newer fans on the channel. Just let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I would have a Carolina hat on if I had one. I don't have a Carolina hat handy. I don't think I have one. I have Hartford, but Hartford is green and this is red, and this seems to almost work with the black in this. So, all right, thanks for watching. I will talk to y'all again soon.